Everybody, and welcome to my live stream this morning. We are talking to Joseph Costello. Joe, hello there. Can I call you Joe?
You can call me whatever you want once it's not too early in the morning. How is things? Are you well?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much. The reason I'm interviewing you, Joe, is because I've been watching you for a while, and I've seen you on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook. And I'm like, who is this guy? So I'd love other people to see you and learn a little bit about you. So Joe, tell us, you're a business mentor and you talk about mindset a lot. So can you tell me a little bit about how you started this and a little bit about yourself first for people who don't
Uh,
know you?
many moons ago. So I suppose why I got into mindset coaching myself at the age of 23, I experienced a mental breakdown. And at that point in my life, I didn't want to get up out of bed. I was in a job that I didn't like. I was starting to have a lot of negative relationships in life. So, sometimes things happen in life. And when that was happening to me, it was a huge negative in my life, but that negative turned into a positive. And that's something that I teach now is how can we take a positive out of a negative? Because one of the laws of the universe that I will talk about is the law of polarity, which means every negative has a positive, and the more negative it is, the more positive it can be. And I suppose I was after leaving school at 15. I left school. School wasn't really for me. So I'm not going to sit here and start talking about education or big words or anything like that. I left school. I went and I worked as a coal man. So worked there for about 3 years. And then I went and I worked with my father in the local authority as a civil servant. I was the fourth generation to work as that, as a civil servant. And over the next 5 years, I became very unfulfilled. My attitude towards life was quite negative. My relationships, I was hanging around with the wrong crowd. And, it went to a downward spiral to the point of, I just did not want to get up out of bed. I believed I had nothing to get up for. And at that point of time, although I had plenty of things in my life, my focus in life wasn't on the positive, it was on the negative, and that's all that I could see. So like nowadays, I'd say life is a reflection of how we think, and that's why our thinking is so important.
Oh, I like that.
So if we wake up today and we know that we get 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of these thoughts is memories from yesterday, that's why, we go into an autopilot mode. If we really knew that these thoughts is affecting our reality, don't you think we should spend time and put our conscious awareness on changing our thinking? And that's what I do now. So as I started to learn a little bit about the mind within, a short period of time, I went from a very negative Joseph Costello to someone that was quite positive. And when I went from the negative, I went to a positive. I started my first limousine company in 2004. And from 2004, within the next 3 years, I went from someone that was on 30,000 a year, that was spending 40,000, didn't want to get up out of bed, to someone that was quite very positive. And the funny thing was, when I was very negative,
Yeah.
people, I was okay. I was accepted. And when I start being very positive, people were saying, is there something wrong with him? And
Yeah.
and it's funny. So over the next few years, then I started a limousine company. Within 3 years, I had the limousine company turning over €1 million. My life changed from night and day.
Hang on, hold up. Did you just say that you went from that to where you are now in 3 years? Like that's pretty amazing, Joe. That's really inspiring for people watching. Like for anyone watching, they probably go, sure, what? I can't do that. Like, tell me, like that's huge what you just said. So tell me, what is it? So is it all mindset? Like, is that what you're saying?
Well, what I teach is all mindset because, everything in life is an outer reflection of your thinking.
Yeah.
So again, one of the first things that I learned was our imagination. And people say, how do you mean imagination? Well, you know, Bob Proctor says, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And everything in the universe has to be created twice.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when we look at things within our house and think of in your room, in your house now, what was created over the last 2 years, the last 5 years, the last 10 years. There's stuff in there that wasn't created 10 years ago. Your house had to be created twice. Your career has to be created. Your business has to be created. And I get people really to tap into their imagination. So we're you know, as a kid, we're playing with the dolls, or we're playing with the soldiers and so on like that. Well, this was back in my day. Now it's a night. But,
Yeah,
uh,
my
uh,
day too. Don't worry.
yeah, unfortunately, the iPhone will even suppress your imagination as more than what it was. And we had an imagination at the age of 6 or 7. We're told not to imagine anymore. So we're getting
Oh, yeah.
told not to use these marvelous mental faculties. Like we live our life through our five senses. We live our life through what we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. So you're looking at what's going on in the outside world. As you look at what's going on, you're hearing what's going on. So what this over the last 18 months, we're hearing a lot of negativity, got to do with COVID, got to do with businesses. And I am aware of the safety elements got to do with COVID, but I choose to know what I need to do to abide by, you know, the safety regulations. But I don't let that influence me. So I always go into my imagination to create what it is that I want in my life. So everything has to be created twice. So your results in life at this minute is your results because of your thinking. So Einstein said, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect to get different results, is a form of insanity.
That's
Right?
true.
I get a lot of clients and they come to me and they start saying, listen, we're overworked, we're underpaid, we're stressed, we're feeling burnt out, we're working these long hours. The fact that we're working these long hours, every action has a reaction. So the reaction then is we don't have time to spend with our partner, our husband, our wife, our kids. We don't have time to spend with doing our hobbies. So everything in life, every action has a reaction. And then they're lowering their vibration. As they lower the vibration, then the mind, the body, and the soul then gets affected. And they're going through life and they're doing the same thing over and over. Now, what I say to you is that your self-worth is going to equal your net worth, plus or minus 10%. So how you think about yourself, and I'm not saying on a conscious level, I'm saying on a subconscious level. So my life changed so dramatically in 2004 to 2007. I was so happy with the changes. I needed to know how it changed. I went off and I qualified as a hypnotherapist. One of the first things I did, I learned about the conscious mind, the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is our thinking mind, our educated mind. So today we might think, I want to work less. I want to earn more. I want to have more time to spend with our loved ones. And this is coming from our conscious mind, which is producing 2 to 4% of our results. 2 to 4%. We go to school, we're told to read the book, memorize the book, get it right. And when we get enough correction marks, we're going to, you know, get a leaving cert or a degree and so on like that. But there's so many people out there with an encyclopedia of knowledge. And they're not doing much in life. And what I get people to do is I get to change a thing called the paradigm. So the paradigm is in your subconscious mind, which controls habits, which controls behaviors, which controls decision making, which controls use of time, which controls creativity, which controls effectiveness, which controls productivity. But we're told in life, we're programmed that in order to succeed, you need an education. I've no education, and I succeeded, and I've started 2 7-figure companies and 2 8-figure companies, and I operate all over the world.
Well done, Joe.
We're told this and we're programmed. And what it is I ask you to unlearn what you've learned, to relearn how You can find out who you are as an individual and find out what it is that you want, and then we'll start using your imagination. So, what is your imagination? I ask you to close your eyes. Why do we close our eyes? Because we need to shut ourselves off from our five senses, because the five senses is controlling what we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell is going to control how we think. So I'm getting people to actually find out, what do you want? 97% of people don't have a goal. So what does that mean? Well, they're going to fall into society's goals. They're going to fall into environment's goals. They're going to fall into their co-workers' goals, their bosses' goals, their business goals. And I'm saying to you, that's like me driving out of my drive today and not knowing where I'm going. And the fact that I don't know where I'm going to go around in circles. So number one is have a goal. And as I say, 90% of people sit down with me and they start telling me what's wrong, what they don't want. And I say, okay, so the law of polarity states everything has an opposite. So instead of you telling me all about this in the negative, can we find out what you want in the positive? So where the focus goes, the energy flows. So one of the second things that I get people to tap into in the six mental faculties is your will. Your will is the focus. So, if you think of a magnifying glass, and the magnifying glass is, if we're marshalling the sun and we're turning it and moving it on a piece of paper, nothing really happens. But if we hold that magnifying glass still, we can get the energy from the sun and start a fire. So when you start understanding everything in the universe is energy, and where your focus is going, your energy is flowing. And when you're living your life through your five senses, you're living your life through what you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. This is not what you want. Your brain is producing 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. 90% of these is memories from yesterday. Do you not think now it's time for you to start using your imagination to find out what it is that you want? And yeah.
It's funny, actually, you're talking about imagination. I remember in school, I used to daydream a lot. And I was told to stop daydreaming.
Yeah.
But like now I daydream all the time, and it's usually new ideas that are coming into me, so it's amazing that you're saying really the opposite of what we were told. That's really interesting. So that day when you decided enough is enough, can you remember that day? Can you remember what action you took when you got out of the bed that day, just to help people who might be where you were then?
Well, it was either do or die, and I literally mean do or die, because when I was in that moment, I was really down on rock bottom, like literally. And it was funny because I was after watching a program, Paul McKenna. This is back in 2003. There was very little Google, YouTube. There was no social media. And Paul McKenna was a very flamboyant hypnotherapist. And Paul McKenna had people coming onto the show, and someone wanted to lose weight, and someone wanted to stop smoking, and someone wanted to be more confident. And Paul starts hypnotizing these, and all of a sudden the following week someone come in and they've lost 4 or 5 pounds. The next person is off the smokes a week, and the next person then is more confident. And there was a little glimmer of hope. So I'm saying to you here today, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Like there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you're more than welcome. I'm actually doing a free live event in Dublin on August the 5th, Thursday, August the 5th, in the Louis Fitzgerald Hotel. It's limited to 50 people with social distance. We'll put the link in here. Come, and I will do about an hour presentation on how to help you start, changing things in life. I'm not a motivational speaker. There's nothing wrong with motivation, but motivation, I believe, is short-lived. Motivation is like the sports button in the car. Will get you to pass out the car in front of you, but it can wane. Where I'm saying to you that I want to inspire you to make a change. I want to inspire you to make a change, because I know this works. So I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to inspire you to come. Understand this. We can jump on a call if you want, and I can, try and give you a little bit of a roadmap. But there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, yeah. And I love, I know that the link is in the comments, folks. If you are on LinkedIn in particular, definitely do check out the link that Laura has just dropped in there. Hi, Laura. But yeah, the Louis Fitzgerald Hotel. So yeah, that's so like, you really, I think what you bring to the table, Joe, is hope. I really do feel that. Because and even myself, I didn't go to college or anything, and I'd be quite successful. And it's like, well, we did it because we believed that we had something, that we were good at what we did, and we walk the walk, we're authentic, we're not, we're real, and we do it, and we walk the walk and deliver. So I mean, I see Rob is there. Hi, Rob. Thanks. But I think if anyone is feeling a bit like they want to change their life, I suppose really they could go to the Louis Fitzgerald Hotel on August 5th. What time is it at, Joseph, do you know?
7 p.m. I think it's going to be on the link there.
Okay.
Laura
Yeah.
has in there. It's 7 p.m. It's probably for an hour and a half. I think
Yeah.
there's tea and coffee there, so you're more than welcome to come. We
Okay.
can discuss a little bit. I'm more about action, as I say. Like, I talk about I haven't got huge education. My son Harry is starting secondary school now in September, and I want him to get an education. I'm not anti-education.
Yes.
What
Yes.
I'm saying is we need to learn the important things in life that's going to make us get the results. And to me, success in life, and I don't measure success in money. I don't measure success in the likes of house or cars or whatever like that. I have a nice house and I drive a nice car. My purpose in life is for a goal for us to grow as an individual. When we grow as an individual, because we're goal-seeking organisms, and when we grow as an individual, the business, the house, the car, the friends, the relationships, your use of time, all these things grow, as you're growing as an individual. And all I teach is for you to grow as an individual. And
Okay.
I have clients, doubling, trebling their income and working an awful lot less. And people say, well, that sounds a little bit far-fetched. Well, it might sound a little bit far-fetched because you haven't got that awareness on how to do that. And everything in life is awareness, because I'll tell you why. Because years ago, I was earning 30,000 a year. I wasn't earning 30,000 a year because I wanted it. That's all I was aware of.
Yes. Yes.
Then I was double jobbing it, and I was working 70, 80 hours a week. So I've been there and done that. I'm not going to say here that I went to a million working 30 hours a week, because back then I believed I had to work long and hard at that point of time. And I wasn't working 80 hours a week because I wanted to. That's all I was aware of. And
Right.
I get mentored by Bob Proctor. I do a lot with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I get mentored off them because they have a higher level of awareness. And we're going through life, and you try and you go to someone that's a little bit further down the road. So let's say we go to the gym, and we're going to the gym with someone where we used to do, and say 5K in the treadmill. And when we go to the gym with someone that's a little bit slower, they're going to pull us back. Now, if we go to someone that's a little bit faster, we're going to speed up. And I like to think we create an environment. And once you have a right environment and you plant the seed with the right moisture, with the right temperature, everything must grow, because life is like the soil. So your subconscious mind is producing 96 to 98% of your results. And that can just only give you what you plant. So if you plant carrots, it will give you carrots. If you plant turnips, it will give you turnips. If you plant positivity, it will give you positivity. But it's the action that we're taking with the mindset that creates a reaction or attraction, and that's why we get the results we get. I
Brilliant.
probably went
Brilliant.
on a rant there, did I?
That was brilliant. You have Naima is saying personal growth leads to professional growth, and growth has to be intentional. And she says that's so true. You need to be authentic. And Rob says, "Count me in for Louis Fitzgerald." I think. But yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you, Joe. For anyone who is feeling a little bit hopeless this morning, because I know there are people out there that are still struggling through all this. Have you any kind of little thing, little gem you can tell them, just for anyone that might be feeling, but sure, I can't get that I can't do that?
I would always say is sometimes we're stuck in life.
Mm.
Okay. And when we're stuck in life, you imagine a car that's stuck. The hardest part is when we're stuck is just actually to get the wheels moving. And once we get the biggest push is to just to get the wheels moving a little bit. When the wheels start to move, it can start to build up a little bit of acceleration and a bit of momentum. So the hardest part is just to sort of start changing your focus. Like there's many things. You might start listening to things. I am grateful. Go into YouTube and put in 10 minutes of positive affirmations. You might start writing out 10 things you're grateful for every day, because these are the things that's going to start getting the wheels turning, because where your focus goes, the energy flows. So if we can open that door just a little bit and let in a bit of light. Like that day I looked at Paul McKenna, he opened that door and let in a little bit of light from me. And over that period of time, I started absorbing it. I was like a sponge. I wanted more of it. I wanted to know how, and that's what I done. So, as I say, we do weekly or bi-weekly masterclasses. You can tune in. You can come to the live event. If you can't make the live event, you can also email us there, or get us on the website, and you can join us on one of the Zoom calls. But definitely in person is going to have a higher energy, a higher impact. Yeah.
Brilliant. So everyone, date for the diary, Thursday, 5th of August. Definitely book your place today, though, because I know you've only got about 3 or 4 spaces left, I think. Laura is there on the ball waiting as well. And that's your website, josephcostellermentor.com. And what is, just for a bit of fun, because it's Friday, what is your favorite quote that people can leave with today? Yeah.
What is my favorite quote? So my favorite quote is, fear not to move forward slowly, but fear to stand still. So fear not to move forward slowly. So even if we're moving forward slowly, so if you feel stuck, start writing your 10 affirmations a day or your 10 minutes positive affirmations. You're moving forward. So how can I be 1% better today than I was yesterday? Don't compare yourself to me, to other people around you. Just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. That's all you can do. 1%. I'm not looking for huge things.
Small steps. Yeah.
And that'll get the wheels turning. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Joe. It's great to talk to you. And please, folks, if you are thinking of going, do head along. He's great. And check out his website, Joseph Costello. I put the link in here, josephcostellermentor.com. And have a great Friday. And have a great Friday yourself. And hopefully we'll see you in Louis Fitzgerald and online on Twitter as well, everybody. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thanks, Simon. Thanks, Orla. Thanks,
Orla, Simon.
And Seb. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.